especially want to thank, there she is, Sherry Clark. Sherry Clark is the editor-owner of Liberty Voice. Now, hopefully you all got a copy of that Liberty Voice when you came in. This is the lady who has been doing this up in Columbus, and she's just an amazing person. And I'm going to go ahead and pass the microphone to her and let her introduce Richard Gage.
Thank you, Chad. In fact, the reason that I started the Liberty Voice is because of my own frustration in having Columbus 9/11 Truth up north and getting no acknowledgement from the media there. So I started my own paper, started out at $3,500 a month, and now we're at $20,000 a month, growing at 8-fold in a year. It is such an honor to be here and introduce Richard Gage. I could go through all of Richard's many qualifications, his 20 years experience as an architect, his professional affiliations, designations, and his role in founding the organization Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth, now with over 500 architects and engineers. But I would guess that Mr. Gage, like most of us in the movement, would find these designations really of little practical significance in comparison with how those titles and designations can be utilized for a much higher purpose than even designing the highest skyscrapers in the world. In fact, to redesign how people will think about the world through 9/11 Truth. For as 9/11 changed the world, 9/11 Truth shall change it again. In 2006, the 9/11 Truth movement exploded. People like Richard Gage, myself, and nearly 60% of those who describe themselves as 9/11 truthers learned that year, largely through the breakthroughs of people like Dr. Kevin Barrett, Colonel Bob Bowman, Dr. David Ray Griffin, who I know Richard had first learned through on a radio program, and countless dedicated grassroots activists throughout the United States, people who always remain nameless, and they're heroes. They have all pointed to the many inconsistencies and demanded a new independent investigation. But why? It was over 7 years ago. In the words of a Russian immigrant, Mark Shishine, a writer on Op-Ed News, says, 9/11 truthers are the product of the home of the free and the land of the brave. 9/11 truthers are the quintessential Americans, he says, if ever he saw one, and he should know. Mr. Shishine wrote in an article entitled, "Blessed are the 9/11 truthers and others like them." And he said, in 1934 in Russia, on 12/1, Sergei Kirov, the prominent communist administrator, was murdered in his office by a communist, a certain Nikolov. In about a day or two, Stalin's prosecutors published the results of the accelerated investigation, stating that it was a complex terrorist plot of the internal party opposition and the remnants of the capitalists. Thousands were exiled, hundreds were shot, and it was only a start of an evil machine. Millions went to meetings demanding death to the traitors and immediate and swift retaliation, similar to what we heard right here after 9/11 began. Only in Russia, there was no 12/1 truth movement, no demands for a new investigation, and no open doubts. Those who did doubt did not go public. That is because the Russian history developed not the free-spirited and survivors. It's not that Russian people are worse than Americans. It's just that their unfortunate experience did not show them that the one individual, people like Richard Gage, could live on his or her own without the others and still survive. So when the society smelled the blood in the air, they rushed to join together and disappear into the collective. 22 years later, by 1956, when the Special Commission finally found out that the Kirov murder was most likely a provocation designed by Stalin himself, not only was the dictator dead, 27 million had died in the horrible war, and many millions of innocent people perished in the hands of that government's terror. It was a hard lesson to learn. A great Russian philosophy is that one is nothing, one is zero, and the Russians trapped themselves in the surrender of their own individuality and let themselves be exterminated one by one. On the other hand, Shishine writes, 9/11 truthers' commitment to knowing what happened is based on the great American feature, the fearlessness of the free individual, the self-confidence of the American who knows that he or she can not only survive, but prosper on his or her own intellect and skills. And if we want to praise anything uniquely and most valuably American, we should appreciate and bless those who are not afraid to go against the flow. Richard Gage and other 9/11 truthers know that that Russian philosophy of one is nothing, one is zero, was wrong. They know that they are not zeros. They know that they are big, and nothing can take that away from them. And that's the blessing of being American. So blessed be the ones with the free spirit, because theirs will be the kingdom of justice. Tonight, leading the march toward this kingdom of justice, this new investigation for American justice, please welcome Mr. Richard Gage.
That's quite an introduction. Thanks, everybody.